Hey guys, Nicole here, and I wanted to just do a quick video about my Hawaii album that I am now back to working on. I'm taking a little bit of a break from the kit making process and wanted to work on this because it's fresh in my mind, and make sure you can see everything here. And I'm excited about it, and so I pulled all my supplies out again, and I'm just plugging away at it. So I just wanted to show you kind of what I've done so far and how I've already kind of talked about how I'm approaching it. I didn't get a lot more pre-made stuff done. I just kind of had to take a break from it, go on the trip, catch up from the trip, and now I'm kind of at a place where I can work on it. And so that's totally fine, but I did get a good start on it. So, so just to remind you, when doing an album like this, at least for me, I like to pick a few consistent items that are going to show up throughout the album. And so what I decided to do was for sure wood veneer, because I have a ton of vacation themed wood veneer. And, you know, when else am I going to use all those wood veneer? Suitcases and airplanes. I have a bunch of pineapples and things like that. So perfect time to get those used. So those will be throughout the entire album. Stitching and then sequins. And so those are the main things that are going to show up throughout the album, and then everything else that I'm going to add can just be random or whatever, but I'm going to have some consistency there. And the album itself is going to be a mix of pages and like little pages and pocket pages. I just want it to be eclectic, but again, have a consistency to it. So if you want to go back, I did a video showing you all the supplies I was working with, which is like a huge old pile. I pulled out anything that was summer themed, anything that was Hawaii themed, tropical themed, just that's the reason it's in my stash. And so I pulled it all out, so it was at my fingertips, and I'm playing with it all. So pardon the mess. I also got some new goodies from Hobby Lobby. They have these cute little, this Paper Studio, these packs of these cute little acrylic pieces. And so I got a whole bunch of those because I think that those are something else I'm going to try to scatter throughout the album. And just also another note too is that I'm going to probably go through this album like on multiple times. So what I'm doing is I'm making the base pages. So I'm getting the photos in, I'm getting them, you know, if they need to be put on like background paper, or I'm decorating the pockets, but I'll probably go back through and do stamping and add finishing touch pieces. So I'll kind of see what cute little embellishments I have left, and so I'm kind of keeping that in mind, that I'm going to be doing that at the end. And that's the way I usually do my mini albums is I kind of do it in batch process. And like my December daily, I did that where I did the album as I went, and I went back at the end and like kind of, you know, finished off the embellishment part and the journaling part and that kind of stuff. So I'm going to do with this as well. So I'm just going to show you what I've done so far, real quick. So I have this little banner page in the front, and I just went ahead, I'm going to make sure you can see okay, and embellish the back. And I just used a sticker, which I think was from the Chamel sticker pad, some wood veneers, a doily. I also have those little doilies throughout, and a flip-flop flare, I think from Fancy Pants, and then this is from a Felicity Jane chipboard sticker book. I'm sorry, my voice is going to go loud and soft here, so I'll try not to do this, but hopefully you can see everything okay. You know what, I might just stay up here so that I have a consistent voice. So then this page here is just photos, and I put a transparency in the middle one with just a single suitcase wood veneer, because this part is about packing and driving to the airport and that process, because that was like day one basically. We left after school, and we drove to Denver to fly out the next day, and so I wanted to document that because there's stories about that, why we flew out of Denver versus Omaha, which is where we would normally fly out of, the packing process, which was hard because I didn't really know what to expect, those kinds of things. So there's those. And then on this side, you just kind of see, the nice thing about transparencies is that you still see that. Now the hello is backwards, I'm not going to stress about that, but you can still see the sequins and the suitcase there, because we're still in the traveling mode here. And So then this next page is about, make sure you can see it okay, is about then the airport travel. Excuse me. And then I did one 8x8 photo from the airplane. So, and then I just decorated on top of the photo. So here, and it kind of sticks out a little bit. And I must not have printed a true 8x8, but I'm okay with that because I'm going to have all kinds of things sticking out of their places. So that's okay. So I have this little embellishment here, just this clip, this airplane clip with this really fun tropical flower. And then I just embellished the bottom with some stickers and this acrylic word adventure, and had fun with that. So there's that. And then on the back of that, then I just went ahead and created like a journaling page. So I could just talk about the travel process in one big paragraph. Talk about, you know, just getting there. And so I have this, and then I just embellished the bottom of that. And so I'm going to try to do this throughout, but if I go back and start telling the story of our trip and realize I forgot, you know, like, oh gosh, I need a journal, about this, and I forgot to, you know, add something in. The nice thing about 3 ring binders is that I can just add in another page anywhere if I need to add in some more journaling. So next to that then is an actual like page that's not in a protector. And, oops, sorry guys. I wonder, here, let me do this. I think, yeah, there we go. So then this is an 8.5 by 11, and I'm going to have just some of these throughout just for a different texture because it's not in a sleeve. And I had pre-done some of these and put washi tape along the edges, and then I just layered a bunch. And what I did was I had a whole bunch of scraps left over from like cutting these papers out, from cutting out the pocket page to like 3x4 pieces. I just had scraps just from scrapbooking with these particular paper lines. So I'm just only letting myself use scraps on these 8.5 by 11 layouts. And that way it stays cohesive because they're most likely going to show up somewhere else in the album because they were leftovers of what I used to create the pre-made pages. And so I'm keeping these pretty simple because, again, it's how the whole album looks together, not necessarily how the layout looks by itself. And so as you can see, it's perfect with this paper here. And I just used one airplane embellishment and then this little chipboard piece, a tag, and some twine just to bring some other texture to it. But these pictures continue to go along with the story that will be over here. And on the back is just, I think, the back of this paper. And I just layered it. It was palm trees, which you can tell. Unfortunately, I kind of covered most of them, but you could obviously tell they're palm trees. And then I had put the washi tape on this side, and then I just layered with the camera and sunglass paper. And then this like wood grain paper, like a boardwalk kind of paper here, just because the background was way too busy for me. I struggle with busy, colorful backgrounds, so that toned it down for me. And then I added the photos and then just did a little embellishment here. So I used the palm tree, the hello clip, which I have clips throughout the album as well, and different tones of gold and silver. That's not really consistent, so I like how that turned out. And just a sticker that says fine little day, and there's a clear sticker there that says today, which is sticking up there. So there's then that, and this might get more embellished down the road. I'm just gonna wait and see how I feel. So then that is all I have completed so far, except, you know, I have my pre-made pages. So what I'm doing is I'm just going to my computer, and I have all my empty page protectors that are this size just out on another desk. I have all my papers out. I just have everything surrounded. surrounding me. It's a disaster in here right now. But what I'm doing is I'm just going to my photos and just going in the order of the trip, and then kind of deciphering, okay, I want these photos together, so I'm going to need a pocket page that can fit this many, or maybe this is where I'll put in just a one large photo because I want to highlight this photo and then have that next to a page protector with other photos from that time frame. So it's just really going kind of day by, or section of photos by section of photos, and figuring out what kind of page I want to put next. But my goal is to try to space everything out fairly equally, not exactly, but just, I don't want to have like 5 of these up front and then nowhere else. I want to make sure that these are spread throughout. And so, which will be easy because the whole trip you had certain times where you took lots of photos mixed in with kind of bigger moments. And so the trip naturally kind of does that for you. But then when I'm done with like this part, then I can kind of go back and say, okay, like this layout here ended up being next to this. So I feel like I need to add maybe another color from here over here with an embellishment. And so I can like go back and do all those finishing details later. Whether it be maybe with a piece of washi tape or a clip or just an embellishment or something like that. So I'll also go just through my stash and say, here's how many, oh gosh, I have quite a few pineapples left, or I have quite a few flamingos left, and who knows when I'm going to use these again. And so I might go through and just like scatter them throughout the album, and, I don't want to overdo it, but just in a way that will continue to add to the story. Now, one of the things that are great about like these types of pieces is they're great for sticking in these pockets and just letting them move around. And so I love that I'm able to use these little pieces. Even these, what I did with some of these stickers was take 2 of these, adhere them to the front and back of each, to each other, so that it's a 2-sided pineapple, and then put them in the pockets. So I'm having a lot of fun because I don't use a ton of like smaller stickers. So I think it's a fun way to use up, because you get a lot in a pack. These littler stickers that you might have is by using them as like a loose embellishment to float around along with your sequins. So I'm really having fun with that and using up a lot of my wood veneers and smaller bits and pieces that I have a lot of, and will never probably use all of them up in a lifetime. It's a great way to enjoy them, but yet don't have to use them each individually. I'm using 2 up at a time, and usually 2 or 3 in the envelope or in the pocket, and that is really fun. I really like that, how that looks. And so anyway, it's gonna be, it's not gonna be matchy. I mean, it's all gonna be very bright and colorful, and that's okay. Like I'm not going to stress about it. I think it's, again, how it flows as an entire album is going to be the most important thing. So anyway, what I'm going to do is I'm going to I'm going to pause, and I'm going to work on, oh, I can't. You know what? My computer decided to update. It's in the middle of that now. So I'm going to stop for now, and then I'm going to come back. You aren't going to know the difference, but I'm going to come back and I'm going to do some scrapbooking and just speed it up and do a voiceover for the rest. I actually had started to video doing these, and I really struggled for whatever reason, so I deleted it. And so I'm gonna just when I get to the point where I can print more pictures, I'm just printing them at home, then I'm going to come back and video and then do a voiceover and speed it up, and you can see just kind of how I'm working through this album. So if you have any questions, let me know, and thank you so much for watching, and happy scrapping. Bye bye. Okay guys, so my next page I'm going to do is this page protector that's going to have 3 photos. And I'll be honest with you, I've really struggled today with this album. I've gotten a couple pages done. I actually made some adjustments. Oh gosh, my camera is a little bit off. I'm sorry. You're seeing some of the floor there. See, it's just been an off day for me. My printer has been acting up. My camera's not set right. Anyway, it's all good. So I do struggle with this because here's my issue, and I have this issue whenever I do like a week in the life or anything where I use these page protectors. I just feel I have a hard time printing the pictures to actually fit snugly into the pockets because they're like really weird sizes. And so I try to measure them and print it accordingly, but then my printer does something weird. So anyway, what I'm just doing is I just made a decision that I'm going to always mat every photo that goes into a page protector, simply because then I can, add some extra color in and some extra dimension, but also then I can make sure that everything's fit snugly into these pockets. So I don't have things like moving around a lot. And anyway, I struggle for whatever reason to get a good color combo that I want with this one, but it's okay. So I just am going to go through a bunch of scrap papers, some 6x6 paper pads. I'm thankful I got 2 of the Oasis 6x6 paper pads because that seems to be the one that I'm getting a lot out of. But so I kind of play around with that for a little while. Now I found this transparency. It's from Simple Stories. I know I want to use it because of the colors. The colors are really perfect for the photos. And I know I want to, put like a little embellishment in the middle. And so I'll have to play with that a little bit. But I do end up actually putting it on the back and not as its own pocket because I decided that I'm at a place where I need to put some journaling either on this side or the other side, and so I decide that that top right pocket's where that will end up. So you're going to see lots of trial and error here, which I guess is it's just par for my day to day, honestly. So it's okay. But I recorded it. I'm like, I'll just show it. And now it's looking like maybe my camera is okay. But sorry, my desk is a disaster. Like I probably need to stop and like tidy everything up a little bit. But so I'm just trying to find what color combination I want, and I want it to work with the transparency. Of course, now it doesn't end up really mattering at the end, but I just want to find a good colors that work together and that also work with a layout that will be to the left of it. And so you're just going to see lots of playing around. So I went ahead, and you're going to see the album here in a little bit. I went ahead and I actually put some more embellishments on the layouts that I made. And and then I actually added journaling to one, just because part of the design of the layout ended up being the journaling being in a strip down the page. And so I went ahead and journaled it. But mostly, I'm going to probably mostly not do a lot of my journaling until I feel like it, or until I'm done, and then I go back and do all the journaling in one sitting, or, whatever. And so, I know one thing I need to, so I got a Project Life set that is perfect with this album, but they're curved edges. And so what I plan to do with this 4x6 cards is I plan on just cutting them down to like either 3x4 or whatever, so that they have square edges, because I don't think I want to introduce curved edges to this album. And so I don't have a lot. I need to go through my Project Life card stash and get some more 4x6 cards. I think I might have some yet to cut out from the Oasis collection, but I need to do that because this page protector is actually like 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. And so I obviously need to find 4x6 cards and then cut them down. Or I can just continue to use pattern paper, which is the way I might go because I have so much of it. And, but if I'm going to journal on it, I guess that's the key, is I need to make sure I find some pattern paper or journaling cards, that have lines on them that are not curved around the edges. So that is one thing I just need to do. I have a couple, or a few in this little collection, but I think they're mainly the Amy Tan ones. And I ended up using an orange one for this one. But, so these photos I'll talk about real quick as you're watching me fidget and find all kinds of papers and fail on many occasions. Like, cut up a lot of papers I didn't need to cut up, which is totally fine because this is going to be outside of like an 8 by 8 or an 8.5 by 11 photo. The largest size of pattern paper I'm going to need for this project is going to be this size here. I might do a couple, maybe 4 by 4, maybe. But so any of these papers I'm cutting up and then not ending up using, I'm going to be able to either use in another protector that's like this or in a 3 by 4 slot. So I'm not too worried about it. Or as a layer on an actual page if I go that route as well. So I'm not super stressing about cutting up papers just to try things out because sometimes I have to like put it together to see if I really like it or not. But anyway, so these photos are, these are actually our first full day in Maui. We went to the beach. It's what you do, right? So we had a little brunch and then we got ready to go, and the beach is right across the road from our condo. And so I took a course while we were waiting for the husband to get ready. We took some not little girls, but some girl selfies. And so I scrapbooked these on this side, and then the other side, I just chose 3 photos from us at the beach. And I'm going to do more from that day. Like, this album's probably going to be pretty thick. But I am trying to, I'm going to not include every single photo. I think I'm going to make some full 12 by 12 layouts as well about the trip. And so I'm okay if I don't fit every photo in. So I'm trying to just really pick my favorites. And I'm doing okay at that so far. But I think the back of these end up being like 3 like posed photos in the ocean and on the beach. And then I have some kind of random ones of like my daughter drawing and me reading and things like that. So I'll probably do another, I don't know, we'll see. I might do the 3 by 4 divided page protector with those, because then I also have a couple other random ones of my daughter wearing her mermaid outfit in the ocean. And so I might just include all those like kind of random pictures from the rest of that little beach outing on one of those. And so that will work. And I think that the one I actually have next to this in sequence has like pattern paper with swimsuits on it and stuff, which is really going to work for honestly this entire trip, but it'll work great for those photos. So I embellished this card, and as you can see, I have so much to pick from layering pieces to little embellishments to sticker sheets. And it overwhelms me a little bit, but I just dig through and find something that works together and I go with it. I'm not trying not to overthink it too much. And you can see I have the album open now. Trying to, what am I doing here? Let's see. I think I'm just trying to look at it together to see if it works. And this is when I decide that I need a journaling area. Yes. And so I find this orange one from an Amy Tangerine line and decide to put that transparency, attach it to the back of one of the pictures and have it on the back. And I end up matting it later on here, because it has some little white showing on each side and I wanted a different color behind it. and I don't journal on it, but I'll probably journal on it and then maybe put some jewels or enamel dots like in the middle of the flowers. I play around with some chipboard pieces and they're just too big, but I do end up putting, I have this Felicity Jane chipboard sticker sheet that I got. It just worked perfect for this. And so there were like 6 or 7 like just little circle chipboard embellishments that were perfect. And so I play around with using them as the centers, but they're just a little too big. And so what I do is I just place one in each center of the 4. So on the outside of the protector, I'll put one on each side, and then I kept the rest set aside so that I remember to do that in the future with the 4x4 photo page protectors. And then that'll be another consistency thing I have going on. So I think I have maybe 4 or 6 more. And I actually switched one out on the left. I had a little palm tree one, and I realized that the one that was left had like a plate with silverware on it. And I'm like, oh, that's actually perfect because we were eating brunch on the lanai. And so I switched that out, and then the palm tree will work anywhere. So that will be another kind of, just again, like I said, trying to, you know, I try to have consistent things happening throughout the entire album. So that will be another one up. So let's see, what am I doing here? Probably messing with my printer because it's being a pain in the rear. I know I paused it at some point here to print. It looks like here I am. Yeah, this is where I'm finding all those chipboard stickers and trying to figure out what to do with them, and you'll see me tinker with it. Here. Oh, goodness gracious. So hopefully everyone's going to have a good Thanksgiving. We are not doing anything. I'm back to my chatting. We were going to go to Colorado. I decided not to. We are pretty worn out as a family. It's been busy, busy, busy. The kids are worn out. They're ready for a break. Even today is a super long day for all of us, and then tomorrow we actually all have the day off. And so I'm just looking forward to just 4 or 5 days home. I have to work a little bit, a couple mornings, but we're just tired. We actually, our football boys in our small town, made it to state football. And so we went there yesterday because I have 2 nephews on the team. And so they got to play in Memorial Stadium in Lincoln, which is so exciting. Like they get up on the big screen, like they show the replays, like just like a real, like college football game. And they get to walk into the tunnel walk, and it's just so cool. And it was such a neat experience. We unfortunately lost, but we got runner up, which is just still awesome. But it made for a long day. We had some family in town, and so we had one family stayed the night with us afterwards. So we were, home late, and then my oldest is helping with the high school's 1-act play, and so they had to go back to Lincoln this morning, and they had to be at school by like 5:50 in the morning, and we're 30 minutes away. So it was a really early morning, and then getting my other daughter to school normal time, and then my oldest is going to get back really late tonight, and me and my youngest are going to get back late tonight because after dance class, we're going to go help great grandma decorate her apartment for Christmas. And so and then we'll probably just hang out there until it's time to pick up the oldest. So it'll just be a long night. But then tomorrow we get to sleep in. Hopefully I'll get some more of this album done. Hopefully things will work better for me and be more smooth. And mini albums, they're just a different animal than a layout. I mean, because you're trying to make everything mesh together as a whole, but also individually. And so I love working with them. And like, honestly, these pages will look completely different by the end of this than they even look now. Because I'll go back in, I'll say, oh gosh, this embellishment would have been perfect with this page because I have so much stuff, and that's one of the problems too. But, or I'll say, gosh, I had this consistently towards the end of the album. Let's add some of this more into the front. You know, like I just do a lot of balancing out at the, you know, when it's all said and done. And so but it's fun. I like it because it's different, and it's different. So so here I'm trying to figure out what to put for the back, and I kind of switch over here and go pick out the photos. And so you're gonna see lots of tinkering again with different patterns and things like that. So anyway, so yeah, so we're just home, and I don't even know, like, I think we're just gonna go out to eat for Thanksgiving. We did that a couple of years ago, and it was fine. Like, we went out to eat, and then we went to a movie afterwards. So it was kind of like a different kind of thing to do, but we really liked it because when it's just us four, I don't want to do all the cooking. And you know, I usually like to do that if we have other family coming. So anyway, I think it's just going to be a super chill Thanksgiving. And like I said, we're ready for it. So, but I hope everyone else has an amazing holiday. And I hopefully can catch up on videos here. I have some stuff to do around the house and some stuff for work. But I think I'm going to really try to get some scrapbooking done. So I'm hoping it would be nice if I could just get this album completed maybe during this break, and then maybe get back to working on the page kits. And the thing I like about working on the page kits is you know, that's kind of like working on that series, but at the same time I'm working on the product user stash series. So I feel like I'm kind of, you know, working on both of them. But I need to get back to my Kit Love series, and I know Angie and I are going to probably do a scrapbooking weekend here, maybe in December. So that'll be fun, but there's so many things. I don't know if I'm gonna do December daily this year. I think I'm probably not, because I did it last year, and our life's I don't know, our life isn't all that different. And not that you can't do it if your life hasn't changed very much. It's such a big project, and I feel like for me to, I don't know. I think I don't know. I might change my mind. We'll see. Obviously we'll do different things. We look different. You know, our lives are a little bit different, but not that much. And so I might just wait, and maybe wait a year or two and then do another one, because it's not like I've been doing them every year since the very first one that I did. I kind of skipped, you know, a few years, so I'm okay if I just have them random. So, but I do have a lot of Christmas product to play with. I just made a layout using Christmas product for Get It Scrapped, focused on our gift opening tradition. So that will obviously be on their blog in December. But today on their blog, and they have a Facebook page too, just if you look up Get It Scrapped, and they'll post like the creative teams layouts, or like they'll link to the blog that has the layouts. And I have one up today that is about using black and white with pastels. And I kind of took a different approach than I think that I initially planned on, because I think putting away a product, and the new Pink Paisley Halloween line does that naturally. Like, they have, you know, your blacks and your greens and oranges, but then they add in these really pretty like pinks and light purples and light oranges. And so I'm like, oh man, that's perfect, because Having two girls, I've always struggled with Halloween because they're usually wearing something pretty girly and they don't, it just, to me, I struggle with meshing it with the really dark, you know, vibes of Halloween colors. And so I kind of went that route, like, you know, these Halloween lines and so I made a layout using the Halloween line, and I added in some of my own other pastel options that meshed with theirs, and it worked out perfect. So that paper line will work really well for this year too, because my youngest was 11 from Stranger Things, and so she wore that like pink dress, and then my youngest was Cleopatra, so she's like all bright colors and stuff. And so at least for the 11 pictures, I think that paper line will be perfect because of the light pinks and stuff it includes with the typical Halloween colors. So that was a really pretty line. I can't think of what it's called, but it's really pretty. I think it's the only one Pink Paisley came out with this fall as far as Halloween. So anyway, what am I doing now? I am just tinkering with papers, and because you do see, you know, quite a bit of the border of the paper, and so I want to make sure that it just looks right. Like I don't do a ton of pocket page scrapbooking, and so it just isn't super natural to me. So I have to kind of just play around a little bit and make sure they all work together. It looks like I'm about wrapped up here. I go ahead and put the 2 chipboard circles in the middle of each one, and I will journal on the front about all these pictures. And really, and I don't do it here, I'll do it later. I haven't done that yet. I'm trying to think if I do anything else. I think that's about it. Just putting the photos in the pockets and calling it good for the day. Hopefully tomorrow things will go a little smoother and faster. But I hope to do more videos tomorrow. Maybe doing one of these 3x4 pocket page and getting my fuse gun heated back up so I can do some more with that. And I need to get some sequins going here. So, well, thank you guys so much for watching, and happy scrapping. Bye-bye.